Now 9.3, concept of reverse charge mechanism. What is the concept of reverse charge mechanism? Generally, under the indirect tax laws, the person who provides the service, the person who sells the goods is the person who is liable to pay tax. But there are certain exceptions under which it is not the service provider, it is not the seller who is liable to pay tax, rather it is the recipient of the service, it is the buyer of the goods who is liable to pay tax. Reverse. That is why this is called reverse charge mechanism, and it is popularly known as 9.3 reverse charge mechanism. Okay. It is defined 9.3. It means liability to pay tax by the recipient of goods or services instead of supplier. 9394 CGST Act, 5354 IGST Act. So under RCM, the buyer of the goods or the recipient of services shall pay GST and not the supplier. Okay. So 4 bar 17 CTR notifies goods. What are the goods on which the buyer is liable to pay under RCM? Okay. And then 13 bar 17 notifies services. What are the services on which the service receiver is liable to pay service tax? Got the point? Okay. Now, what are the goods? What are the goods on which the recipient of goods is liable to pay GST? Under reverse charge mechanism, under section 9.3. See, cashew nuts. Who is selling? Who is the seller? Agriculturist. And what is the logic behind putting them in the reverse charge mechanism? He is an agriculturist. How can you expect an agriculturist to come forward, register, comply with, like, it's a burden, right? So, I don't ask the agriculturist. Rather, I will ask the registered person. That is purchased by registered person. If it is purchased by an unregistered person, not applicable. Got the point? So it should be sold by an agriculturist and it should be purchased by a registered person. Only then RCM is applicable. Then BD wrapper leaves. BD మీద పైన wrapper ఉంటుంది కదా, రీసెంట్గా వాట్ ఈస్ దట్, గుంటూరు కారం BD. That wrapper leaves. That leaves. Who is selling? Agriculturist. Who is the buyer? If he is an unregistered person? No. Next. And see, for example, if X purchases the tendo leaves from agriculturist and then he is selling, he is not agriculturist. Whether RCM is applicable? No. When you are directly purchasing from agriculturist. Next, tobacco leaves, same story. Certain essential oils other than citrus fruit oils, namely of peppermint or other means. Here, not agriculturist. Seller, ever? Who is the seller? Any unregistered person. Who is the buyer? Registered person. Silk yarn, N is missing. Silk yarn, person who manufactures the silk yarn from raw silk. He takes raw silk and converts into silk yarn. Who is the buyer? Should be. Then raw cotton. Who is the seller? Cotton, registered person. Lottery. Lottery in India will be sold only by governments, that too state government or union territory or a local authority like municipal authorities. Okay. So should be sold by now who is the buyer? Distributor or selling agents. There will be distributors, right? Sikkim lottery, Manipal lottery, Bhutan lottery. Okay. You never heard, huh? It's there, Kerala lottery. And then don't buy, huh? Okay. Used vehicles, seized goods. We already discussed what do you mean by seized. No, in this class we have not discussed. We'll discuss. Used vehicles, seized goods, confiscated goods. Seized goods means when you're dealing with some goods unauthorizedly, illegally, there are certain provisions under which government can seize the goods. For example, some smuggling is happening, there is some drugs, what the police will do, and they will do what? They take photo and come back, huh? No, they will what? They will seize the goods, they will take it under their control. That is called seizure. Similarly, confiscation also like seizure, they will take under their control when you're dealing with some goods unauthorizedly or which are illegal, which are smuggled. And used goods, their vehicles, here goods, used goods, waste and scrap. Who is the seller? Central government. Except Ministry of Railways, they will pay under forward charge, they are already registered. Indian Railways, if you are traveling in air conditioned coach, they are collecting GST, whether you observed or not, 5% GST. So they are already registered. So if the used vehicles, etc., they are selling, they will pay under forward charge. But other than that, if any other central government department is selling, state government or local authority, to whom they are selling? Registered person. Then the registered person has to pay tax under reverse charge mechanism. See, once the goods are seized, they will go for auction. You know auction? Okay, they'll put everything, they'll put under auction. The people who have come for auction can participate in it and buy it. If that buyer is unregistered, this notification is not applicable. If that buyer is registered, this notification is applicable. Reverse charge mechanism is applicable. They have to pay. The government which is selling will not tell you, sir, you are registered, so you pay under RCM. It is you who should know the law and pay it. Ignorance of law is not an excuse. You cannot say, I don't know the law of the land. It is the responsibility of every citizen of India to know the law. You cannot kill somebody and say, oh, I don't know about the code of criminal procedure. Is it crime? Can you say like that? Huh? Can you say before the judge, oh, I don't know, sir. From tomorrow I will not do, sir. Now I came to know. Can you say like that? Ignorance of law cannot be an excuse. Then priority sector lending certificates, registered person to registered person. And there are certain other goods effective from 1/4/2019. There is a drastic change in regime for taxation of real estate, construction and selling of apartments, whether residential or commercial, where they said the rate of tax applicable for affordable housing is 1%. Effective rate, I said, that is 0.5 CGST, 0.5 SGST. And other than affordable apartments, 5%, 2.5, 2.5. No ITC. Input tax credit will not be allowed. Earlier it used to be 18% rate with one third abatement, because when you're buying a flat, the flat price includes the price for the undivided share of land. It will be constructed in 1000 square yards. Okay, 10 floors, 10 flats. You bought one flat. Whether the seller includes the cost of the land or not? Obviously. Now in this, you will get an undivided share of 100 square yards. That's 1000 square yards, 10 flats. 1000 divided by 10, 100. But is undivided. You cannot say which part of this 1000 is yours. That is what it is called, undivided share of land. When there is an undivided share of land, okay, and the land, when the GST law says land is outside the scope of GST, it should be excluded. So therefore, they reduce one third from the value, taxable value, from the total selling price to arrive at the taxable value. Or you can instead reduce the tax rate. Both are same. So 18% minus one third for land. So effective rate is 12%. But you will get input tax credit. That is projects developed up to before 1/4/2019. From 1/4/19, the scene is different, situation is different. Now they said total rate is 7.5% for other than affordable flats, reduce one third, 2.5 for land. So effective rate is 5%. Now the question comes, what do you mean by affordable flat? What do you mean by other than affordable flat? Affordable flat is where the carpet area means the net usable floor area. This is carpet, right? This area, that carpet area should not be more than 968 square feet. Okay, generally when you are buying a flat, the area that you will be told is the total area including common area, your veranda, your balcony, staircase, lift area, terrace, parking, all this area put together they'll tell 1400, 1300, 1200. But the carpet area is the criteria, living area. Okay, if that is exceeding 960 square feet, it is called other than affordable flat. So for that, higher rate, big flat, big rate, 5% after deduction for this land. Now, since input taxes credit is not there, people may start buying the goods and services from unregistered dealers. Why? What is the benefit for me? If I purchase from registered dealer, I will not anyway get a ITC. So if I purchase from unregistered dealer, he will not charge me GST. So I can reduce the cost. So therefore, they have set one twist. They said at least 80% of the goods and services that you buy for construction of this building should be from registered dealers only. Now, okay. Otherwise, registered dealer will suffer. You saying no tax, no input tax. Now everybody will go and buy from unregistered dealer. What is the fun in registering with the GST? Okay, they are safeguarded. Now, at least if you incur 1 crore in a year in construction of your apartment, at least 80 lakhs worth should be purchased from registered dealer. Only 20% up to I can go with the unregistered dealer. If you do not go like that, if there is a shortfall for this 80%, that means 80 lakhs at least you should buy from registered dealers. I bought only 60 lakhs in the year, 40 lakhs from unregistered dealers. Wait, what is the punishment? On this shortfall, what is the shortfall? 80 minus 60, 20 lakhs. You pay GST under reverse charge mechanism at the rate of 18%, irrespective of the actual rate applicable for that goods or service. Sand, 5% is the only rate of tax in the tariff, but now 18%. Okay, this is also reverse charge. Reverse charge applicable for builders, promoters. You got the point? Okay, so goods which are purchased by a promoter or a developer from unregistered person, which constitute the shortfall between 80-20 ratio, then on the shortfall, the goods whatever falling in that shortfall, the 20 lakhs, if the 20 in the 20 lakhs, let us say 18 lakhs are goods, you have to pay GST at the rate of 18%. One more twist, if that goods includes cement, the rate of tax will be 28%. It's not 18%. Got the point? Okay. So these are all the situations where goods are getting taxed in the hands of the buyer instead of in the hands of the seller under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? So this is 9(3) goods. So far we have discussed what? 9(3) goods. One more thing is left. What is that? 9(3) services. This is a big list. Very popular notification number 13 bar 2017 CTR dated 28 June 2017 lays down the list of services which are covered under this notification, that is applicable to reverse charge, and who should be the service provider to attract RCM, and who should be the service receiver to attract the RCM. Only if these three conditions cumulatively satisfied, RCM will come into picture. Otherwise not. We'll go through. Okay. See, first one. What is the first one? Goods Transportation Agency Services. That is transportation of goods by road. Transportation of goods by road. What do you mean by goods transport agency? There was a definition. There is a definition. Okay. Goods transport agency means who engages himself in transportation of goods by road and issues a consignment note. What is this consignment note? See, GTA there is a definition. You understand? There is a definition for GTA. Goods transport agency. So individual truck operator or lorry operator cannot be called as agency because he will not issue consignment. What is this consignment note? Consignment is the one when you hand over the goods for transportation to a transporter. What they will do? Oh, okay, sir, you go. We will take care. What they will do? They'll prepare a note. Who has given? To whom it is to be delivered? What are the goods? What is the description? What is the quantity? What is the value? What is the tax? From where it is moving? To where it is moving? Weight, lorry number, signature. Signature of the agency, signature of the owner of the goods. This is called what? Consignment. It will give full data. And if you read the Sale of Goods Act properly, this is part of the definition of document of title to the goods. Document of title to the goods. That means you can sell your goods. Now who is holding the he can sell the goods by merely endorsing the transfer of document of title to the goods. While the goods are in movement, he can turn back the consignment note and say, I hereby transfer these goods to Mr. Ramakrishna for so and so rupees. Henceforth, he will be the owner and signature. Over. Goods are sold. You did not read this in the Sale of Goods Act. This is called supply by transfer of document of title to the goods. Similarly, bill of lading. Similarly, shipping bill. Similarly, airway bill. Similarly, railway receipt. These are all called document of title to the goods, and you can transfer the title to the goods by transferring this document. Now, in whoever's name it is transferred, he can go and take the delivery. Got the point? That is the importance of consignment notes. Okay, so only those are called goods transport agency. On the other hand, if you engage a local lorry person for transporting your goods from here to some other place, he is not a goods transport agent. Or you transport by auto, no, they are not goods transport agents. Okay, okay, fine. So RCM is applicable in the following cases. RCM is not applicable in the following cases. Before that, when it is applicable, it should be provided by only a GTA. There is a definition, we will read that. That's we have discussed also. Goods transport agent means a person who engages in transportation of goods by road. By road. Okay? And issues a consignment note. He is only called GTA. And the services he is providing are called transportation of goods by, come on, road. Who is the service receiver? Who should be the service receiver? Who should be the service receiver? Factory, registered under Factories Act, Societies Act, Society Registration Act, Cooperative Society under Cooperative Societies Act, any registered person, sole proprietor nunchi, firm, company, anybody, body corporate, company, partnership firm, casual taxable person. You know casual taxable person? Huh? Casual taxable person means who is generally not resident of that place, that state, but engages himself in trading temporarily for few days, and once that event is over, he will go back to his state. For example, I'm a textile company based out in Vishakhapatnam. Okay. Now, next month 15th, I am conducting an exhibition come sale in Jaipur. Okay, for 2 days. Okay. Now the supply is taking place. In that case, exhibition come sale means supply is taking place from Jaipur, in Jaipur, to Jaipur, or to a person outside Jaipur. Correct? So then, is it not necessary for him to pay GST on the sales made in Jaipur? I am not required to pay GST. Am I required or not? Required, because there is a supply. I am required. So I need to be registered or not? Registered. But I will not take permanent registration. Why? For 2 days? Huh? No. So for them, there is a separate concept. You understood the concept? Huh? Now you will be seeing no Novotel, Taj, or other hotels. Exhibition come sale only for 2 days. Huh? Well, you will see Kashmiri collection, that collection, this collection. They are actually not belong to this place. They come from other states. Stay here for 2 days, complete the exhibition and go back. For them, separate route that is called casual taxable person registration, CTP popularly. Casual, it's not routine, it's casual. They'll come, they'll complete the activity, they go back. There is a separate procedure for that. Even there also, if they get the stock, no. So they get the stock means they need a GTA. They are also liable to pay under reverse charge mechanism, provided they are all, who are all these located in India taxable territory. So if you are providing a GTA service and the provider is GTA and the receiver is these people, RCM is applicable. Then who is not covered? Either you are not a GTA, you are an auto person, you are a rickshaw, you are an individual truck operator, then you are not a GT, not applicable. Second case, you are an unregistered person. Okay, transporting your household items while you are shifting your home. You are engaging a Agarwal Packers and Movers, VRL Logistics, Kranti Transport, Navaratna Transport. Correct. Now you are what? Are you falling in any of this? Now they have to pay under forward charge mechanism. Why? RCM is not applicable. Don't think he is exempted from payment of tax. Presence of RCM doesn't mean exemption. It is shifting of liability from one hand to another hand. When that is not applicable, forward charge will be applicable. Now you have to pay. The GTA has to pay under reverse charge, forward charge mechanism. Got it? Now there are exceptions to this RCM. There are exceptions. What are the exceptions? See, services provided by a GTA by way of transport of goods in a goods carriage by road to a department, establishment of the CG, SG, UT, local authority or government agencies. It is not an end there. What kind of agencies, what kind of departments, what kind of local authority which has taken registration under the CGST Act only for the purpose of deduction of tax at source under section 51. There is one section 51 where if you as a non-government entity providing any services to a public sector undertaking or supplying any goods to a public sector undertaking, then they have to pay amount to you, consideration or not? Huh? Pay? They have to pay, na? While paying, they have to deduct tax at source, GST, TDS. Face wash చేసుకుంటా. You have to deduct what? GST, TDS under section 51. Okay. So for that purpose, all these PSUs have to register. So generally governments are not taxable except in few cases. Okay. So in other cases where they are not required to pay tax, obviously they will not go for registration. But they must be buying. Huh? They must be buying goods, no? They must be buying services, no? So when they are buying goods and services, they must pay. When they must pay, section 51 applicable. What 51 says? Deduct tax. For that, they have to take a TDS registration as tax deductor. They have to submit the TAN number under income tax law. There will be a tax deduction account number, no? They have to submit that along with their PAN with the GST department. Now they will give a separate registration called TDS registration. So using that, they will, every time they make the payment for intrastate supply, they will deduct 1% CGST, 1% of the selling price, CGST, SGST, and deposit in the seller's account. It will get credited to his account. Whose account? Seller's account. He will encash it for payment of his output tax. Just like income tax, TDS. But there, 192 to 195 or 205, all the provisions, different categories applies. Here only PSUs. If you are supplying goods to PSU, public sector undertaking, whether state or center, or you are supplying services to PSU, now it is their responsibility before making the payment, deduct from the payments made to you 2%. CGST plus SGST, IGST 2%. On the payment. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, fine. You have registered only for that purpose, not for any other purpose. Only in those kind of government agencies, reverse charge is not applicable. So why he is telling so specifically? Because he used the word you are also registered. So RCM should be applicable. But here it is an exception. Okay, even if you are registered, but you are registered only for the purpose of section 51, RCM is not applicable. Exception. For this rule, this is an exception. So even if you are registered, still RCM is not applicable. That means GTA has to pay tax under forward charge mechanism. Clear? Not clear? Still doubt? I'm repeating. If a goods transport agency providing transportation of goods by road services to a registered person, RCM is applicable. But star mark, exception comes. What is that exception? If that registered person, service recipient, is a government organization, okay, government organization, but and they registered only for the purpose of section 51, not under section 22 or 24, not for supply of goods, not for the purpose of, they are not taxable on their outward supply. Then the Ministry of Finance is there. What output tax will be there? Huh? What is that they are selling? Are they selling anything? They are government, correct? They are not taxable. So are they required to take registration? No, they will not have registration. But if they are purchasing any goods or the purchasing any services, they have to make TDS. If they want to make TDS, they have to register under section 51. They registered, but still RCM is not applicable. I'll give a live example. We have one client called Indian Naval Canteen Stores Department. Okay, Canteen Stores Department is our client. Now, we are providing services. Monthly we raise a bill for an X amount. They are government organization, establishment, Indian Navy, Ministry of Defense, PSU, public sector. Now what they will do, whatever bill I submit, on that they will deduct 2% TDS, GST TDS. They will deduct 1% CGST, 1% SGST. But for that deduction, what they have to do? They have to register under section 51. Okay, so they deduct and pay it in my account. Okay, so now Canteen Stores Department is a registered dealer, but under section 51. Okay, now now from here I will add the story. It's not fact. Now let us say, for example, they are not engaged in any taxable supplies. Say for example, they are not engaged in any taxable supplies. Then they are not required to take regular registration. Correct? Huh? They are not. Are they required? No. When you are required, only when you are making taxable supplies of goods with more than 20 lakhs, you are required to register. Otherwise, no. So they are not registered. Now, you are a GTA. They will buy now. They will buy goods. You are a GTA. You are providing service to Canteen Stores Department, who are registered, but not regular registration, GST registration. I mean TDS registration. So therefore, this clause is not applicable. That is why I said that from there it is a story, not fact. Listen to me carefully. Okay. I assumed that there are no taxable supplies. So then they will take only 51 registration. If it is only 51 registration, RCM is not applicable. They are as good as unregistered person. If they are as good as unregistered person, RCM is applicable anywhere. That's what this is. Okay, fine. Next, the said take GTA, that is the service provider, has taken registration under GST law. He is a registered person. The second case where RCM is not applicable. This is the first case. In this case, reverse charge mechanism is not applicable. So in this case, who has to pay tax? Huh? GTA has to pay the tax. in this case. In this case also, who will pay? GTA. This is not applicable in these two cases. Case 1 we understood. In order to be case 1, you should be as the service receiver should be a PSU, government department, government organization, government establishment. They are registered but only for the purpose of TDS. RCM is not applicable. Second case, he has taken registration. Who? GTA. Exercised the option to pay tax on the services of GTA in relation to transportation of goods supplied by him under forward charge. Now they have an option. It is not necessary that it should always be RCM. Law given them an option. What is that option? You can come forward, register and say, sir, I will pay under forward charge mechanism. Got the point? Yeah, you can do so. Rarely it happens. This is one of the clause. Otherwise, you will not have any option. No. But they got an option. GTA, they can come out and say, sir, I will pay. Okay? And he should issue tax invoice now. Earlier, he will not issue tax invoice. Why? I am not like, see, tax invoice should be issued when there is a taxable supply. Okay. So he will not issue tax invoice. Regular normal invoice he will issue. Because there will not be any tax. Underneath there will be a bottom line. This is a GTA service. So GST should be paid by you for this service. I am not responsible. Under notification number 13/2017 CTR. One line will be there. Got the point? Okay. But here, once you say I opted, you should issue tax invoice, and then the tax invoice you should mention the language which is prescribed in annexure 3 to this notification. There is one declaration. You have to declare, no? Otherwise, GTA by default, GTA's RCM is coming from more than 10 years. 10 years, 15 years. It is there in the RCM. It is not a new concept in GST. It is there since years. So GTA means by default RCM. But now you are coming and saying no RCM, it is FCM. Then how do I know? How do I know? Give a declaration. Boss, I am registered with the GST department and I have exercised the option to pay tax under forward charge mechanism. So you pay tax to me, I will pay to the government. I say you have to give a declaration. Then what? RCM is not applicable. Clear? I'll just give a quick diagram. See, you are a GTA. You are a service provider. Here is the service receiver. You should be a registered person or a factory, whatever we discussed now. But this is important. Okay, na? Okay. And now, see, when you say there are exceptions, in this case, RCM is applicable. Correct? Now, exceptions. What are the exceptions? One, the service receiver is a government organization. Plus, they are holding section 51 registration for deducting TDS. Okay, they are registered, but still exception. Still, RCM is not applicable. If you read that, it appears that as if RCM is applicable. But if you read the exception, oh no, even if they are registered, still, forward charge mechanism applicable. RCM is not applicable. This is case number 1. Case number 2, I am a GTA. Now I have exercised an option. What is the option? That's okay, na? Any doubts on this slide? Very important from examination point of view. We'll just take 5 minutes break. Huh? I need some 5 minutes break. I have to take 2 calls and we'll resume.